So we have issues with these, and we'd recommend probably replace them every year before harvest. That way you don't have trouble during harvest shutting down. A couple things to remember. I'll go over them kind of quickly, but you'll loosen these on the skid plates here. You have some bolts that you just loosen, 15 millimeter ratchet, socket, whatever you want. 10 millimeter ratchet up there. Take those bolts out, loosen those, and that sill plate right there will just pop right out. 2 8 millimeter end wrenches, and you can pull this sensor. It's best to have somebody with you. That way they can sit in the cab and kind of tell you what the voltage is. We're looking for 1 volt. I don't know if you got the handout. If not, we have one inside. Tells you what address it is on the 70 series and what it is on the 50s and 60 series. 50s and 60s, it's EO1, address 22 and 26, I believe. You'll look at for your voltages. 70 series, it is LC1, 28 and 30. You can also, on the command arm, you can go into your diagnostics and go in there, and it'll actually go to your left header height sensor, right header height sensors. I'll lock these in the up position because that's what it's looking for, is 1 volt in the down position. So that way you can do it any height you want to, whatever's comfortable to you. But push those up, just put your pin in the back. That way it locks your sensors up, which is what we need to do when we put on a header card or anything also. Usually if you're by yourself, lock those up, pop your sensor on, and tilt it all the way forward, depending on how you're looking at it. But looking at the combine, tilt that sensor forward, and that's usually going to get you right around your 1 volt. And that's what we're looking for at those addresses. And if you didn't get the handouts, there is handouts inside also. On the older machines, or some that's been running for a while, one thing I found too is on these plates right here, this bar that runs across, you'll actually start wearing out. You'll notch out a whole bunch right here. So I loosen those 4 bolts on both sides and push that back down just to kind of help make it true, because there is no bushing, nothing. What you have to replace if that wears out is your skid plate. So I found if I loosen these 4 bolts and hold that bar back down, that'll help my sensor and my voltage is a lot better instead of this bar just flopping when you're moving those arms. So these right here, you loosen these 4 bolts, you'll wear out right here on this side, you'll wear right there where that's sitting. Big wall. One other thing to look for when you replace the sensor, you got a little arm in there. Basically has a little hook in it that goes in and rides on this arm. That arm in there will wear out. It's a little gold arm. You can just pull it out when you pull that sensor out. So you can go in there and replace those sensors. You're not getting your voltages. You pull that little arm out and it'll be wore, and you're not going to get the travel you're looking for. You pop a new sensor on there. I believe the computer is looking for a 2 volt travel. So you pop a brand new sensor on there, put it at 1 volt, still can't go through calibrations. The reason why it's not seeing 2 volt travel, and a lot of it's we have that wear right here or that wear in that arm. So we replace all that, everything comes true again, you'll get your travel out, be able to calibrate and go and run. So.
Saying replace them sensors every year?
Yep. Beginning of harvest, recommend replacing them.
The tensiometers.
Correct. Yep. And then when you do that, pull pull that pin out, because where it hooks on, you'll see over time that arm that'll wear out, and you'll lose. Like I said, it has to have a 2 volt travel also. So now we're looking for 1 volt in the down position. We're looking for 2 volt travel overall, and so a lot of times you only get like 1.5, 1 3/4 volts, and so you keep filling calibrations, so it won't run even after you replace the sensor. So pull that out, and you'll see it. I mean, they can get warm pretty bad.
I found if you egg those holes on that
Right here.
yeah, you can get a little bit more wear out before you lose your calibration.
Really? On the you're talking on this aluminum arm right here?
Yeah. So you can set it about 0.7 instead of 1 volt.
Yeah, you can do that.
Because I have to change
Usually it's
mine
high.
halfway through.
Do you? Every year? Wow. And
But then
that's
as soon as you start to wear, you're still within tolerance, but your header height is not 14 inches. You're down to like 12.
and you can't make sure you don't go below a 1/2 volt, because otherwise you won't allow you to calibrate either.
Yeah.
Yep. So yep.
But if you're right about 0.7,
Yep.
you can get about 3 more days out of it.
Okay. There's 3 days right there at the end of harvest. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's helped with the auto steer in matching your furrows if you seed it with an auto steer, because then those are not wiggling up and down
Okay.
and wearing the tensiometer.
So you're replacing them. How many days are you getting out of one?
Well, about 120 hours.
Really? So you're replacing them beginning of the year and then halfway through. Okay.
Because it won't make it all the way.
And have you checked that
Yeah.
slop right there too? Got that out of there?
How many acres do you cut in a half, or a half a cut?
Well, about 1,400 acres.
1,400 acres.
Then I checked it. If there's ever rain or wet morning, then I
Just
do.
replace
Because if
them.
not,
Right,
you're
exactly.
limiting your height.
Exactly.
If you're in the tall wheat, you can only get 12 inches and you're cutting too much straw.
And then did Jim also talk about the bolts behind on the arms already?
No.
Okay.
they
On,
wear out.
on the back of these arms, there's also a bolt that rides back there. Good idea to replace those at the beginning of every harvest. Also, those will wear out. They'll start locking up on you, so these won't move, won't slide on you. They're part of that care package, I believe. Also, we have them. You get some extra bolts. It's good to keep those on you. I mean, it's a simple fix instead of calling us up and having us come out and pop new ones on for you and straighten those arms or whatever. A lot of times they'll just bind up once they start getting more. They'll wear flat and just catch and stop working for you. So.
You still have to be careful backing up with those.
Yeah, make sure the header's up. Back up, you'll tear them out. Same thing if you're ever putting them on header carts, transporting them. Make sure you can put them in the lockup position before you ever put on the header cart. So, anything else? I think we got lunch inside.
Small enough to know you, large enough to serve you. Your locally owned John Deere dealer, Evergreen Implement.